The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Tuesday, the 18th day of July, 2023. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medicals, and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Sancha Durham, and Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Sister Sancha, how are you?
Good morning. I'm great. Still on this U.S. tour.
Hey, this is a soccer mom tour. That's what they call it.
Long one, right?
Yeah. Has it been fun for you too?
Jamal, I feel like if you were to be like, I feel like you would love hanging out with Maddox.
Yeah.
We are having, I don't know if you saw my update yesterday. Did you see my update yesterday?
I must check. I've been lazy.
Listen, Maddox is over here. So 2 days, we're in DC now. And we were checking into the hotel the other day, and I was so frustrated because it was just so difficult. And I personally feel like it should not be difficult to check into any hotel. It should be seamless, right? And I get out of the car and I'm like trying to move all my bags, and I see all of these blue uniforms walking towards me. And I turn around and I look at Maddox, and I wasn't sure. I was like, okay, this is either Arsenal or it's the Washington team. I don't even know who the Washington team is. I'm like, Maddox, get out of the car, quick. And he gets out of the car. It was the entire Arsenal football team. And they like walked through Maddox and like parted like the sea. And Maddox stood there frozen, like he didn't know what to do. It was everybody.
Chuck Mad Dog. So and Arsenal, if you don't know, folks, were just named yesterday the most valuable team in the world in terms of their players. So he just split the most valuable team in the world.
But then it gets better. Yesterday he had me hanging out, like, we're gonna go and get autographs. And I'm like, mommy doesn't sit outside of hotels and I was like, we can go inside. I was like, we can go to the restaurant and have a meal. And if you see somebody, he met the coach, he met like 2 players, he had the security on board. He was like, listen. So yeah, we're having a blast.
He knows people who know people, basically. Maddox knows people who know people.
His networking at a young age. I love it.
That's what I'm talking about.
And valuable skills.
Sherry says it was amazing to see. How does Sherry see it?
Because she looks at my updates. I share with you guys what's going
on.
Thank you.
Sherry's been telling me for about a year, and so I need to do better at this. And I'm trying. It's just that I'm gonna see these updates, and I don't appreciate you, Sherry, putting out in public. It was amazing. You could have texted me and said I saw it, or hey, go look at Sancha's story or something like that. Like you ain't got to put off, dysfunction all on the line.
No, Sherry is very much so involved in the process.
My goodness. No, that's good stuff. I love to hear that from Maddox. I just want to give a shout out because one of our viewers and her husband, who is a viewer as well, Hadlene Stevenson Swan and Bruce Swan, they had an anniversary the other day. So happy anniversary to them.
Anniversary?
Yeah. And she
how many years?
I believe 7. And they wrote a note saying that they ensured that they had Wi-Fi on the cruise so that they can tune into the Daily Hour. So wish them a happy anniversary, folks. Definitely. And Charles H. Jeff II says, morning, Sancha. I wondered if you lot were in the area for the game. Nice. Hold on, real quickly. So are we going to be at the game on Saturday or are we not?
We're doing a game tomorrow and Saturday.
All right. All right.
Let's do it.
All right. Big game, Arsenal, Man United. Maddox is too young to bet me, folks. But speaking of betting, I did
I'll
not.
bet you. His mama could bet for him.
I'm not taking your money. I'm not taking your money. Um, I'm here today, and even if I did win $1 billion in the lottery last night, I'd still be here because I love you all. But I didn't win the lottery. No one won it, so the jackpot is actually hitting officially $1 billion. So, Sancho, you're in the US, just get a ticket. And remember people like me if you do win it. And I'll do the same. Yeah, I'll do the same.
If we do, we'll do cup match coverage.
Yeah, absolutely. We will. We promise you that. We won't leave you just dry. Greetings, everyone. Thanks for making this part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Siobhan Hardsall on the show. We're discussing the impact of social media on the mental health of young people. I love this conversation. I absolutely love it. So looking forward to it. Also, there's still a few spots left. Charles, we don't see you yet. Are you joining us for the restaurant crawl? There are still, like I said, a few slots left, as I said yesterday. Once we reach the limit, we cannot allow anyone else to join simply because there are laws in Bermuda as far as space on buses that will be taking us from place to place, and also restaurants to ensure they have the right number of people and the right number of food for the people. So get it on that. If you haven't already, if you need the link, just reach out to us, engage@thedailyhour.com. All right. Also, have you followed Media Maya or BCG Television yet? You want to do that to stay up to date with what's happening for Cup Match Selection Night. It's going to be a fun night. If you look at my stories, you would know Maya and I met again last night. My eyes is, they're red because I hadn't even prepared for the Daily Hour or chatted to Sancha because, we're trying to get this thing down to a T for you all to make sure it's the best coverage. So make sure you check us out on social media. Make sure that you're following, you understand how to watch this very fun night. Juggling Jason will be leading the call, giving you analysis, and we have some Cup Match players into his house. And the ladies, Sherry and Sancha, will be at Somerset Cricket Club and with Phil. And then we'll have Maya and crew down at St. George Cricket Club, the champions elect. All right. Folks.
What?
Oh, what did I say?
The champions elect.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I didn't. I do that party. And folks, just subscribe to our website, thedailyhour.com, and follow us on all of our social media channels. But let's get to today's conversation. And you are welcome, Sister Headleen. Let's get to today's conversation. It's a very interesting one. And I want us to think deep because I don't want to focus on the organization. Rather, I want to focus on the solutions, right? The headline from the Royal Gazette stated air tourism held back by reduced flights and capacity. And Maya's right, as our backstage conversation, capacity, we have a lack of, airplanes traveling to the island right now. I think someone said the other day 8 less than previous years. And then you eliminate nearly 600 rooms from Fairmont, Southampton, and that on top of Elbow Beach and all the others. We just don't have the capacity at this time. So the question begs, this is a solution-driven show, and I think we have a brilliant group of hosts, an even more brilliant audience. What do you believe is holding Bermuda tourism back, and how can we address it? It's that simple. What do you believe is holding us back, and how can we address it? Some people have said, just to give you an idea, you've had people who say we need a water park. Some people say amusement. Some people say it's still for the newlywed and nearly dead. Some people say it's for old people. You've got people that are saying there's just not enough night activity. Some people say it's just beach and golf. What do you think? What do you believe is holding Bermuda tourism back, and how can we address it? Sancha, you're thinking on this one.
I know. I like to speak. You can go first.
Okay. Tourism's one of my favorite subjects, honestly. Having worked in this space, both for Bermuda, in Bermuda, and overseas. It's not a topic where I think there's only one right answer. This is business we're talking about, right? There are various answers to this. And I don't think as long as you have an idea, it's a bad one unless it just costs so much money and you don't see a return, right? The whole purpose of being in business is to generate revenue so that you can in turn make a profit. You asked me this question: what do I believe is holding Bermuda tourism back, and how can we address it? I would say the one thing I think holding it back is politics and policy. Remove them out of the way. Remove politics and policy out of the way, and let professionals work. I think we would all agree that you need hotel product, you need beds, you need hotel rooms, and to drive demand to get airlift. That's what they're going to look at. That's what they're going to look at. So we need hotels. Now, I think many people will sit here and say, yes, we need hotels. But the question is, what kind of hotels do we need? For years, Bermudians have been calling for all-inclusives. People in the industry think, no, Bermuda's not an all-inclusive destination. It's a luxury destination. But do Bermudians see themselves as a luxury destination? Do Bermudians see themselves like a Dominican Republic, where no, we need all-inclusives. We need more affordable. Do they understand the impact of having more inclusives and more affordable? What does that mean for salaries and the ability to live the lives that they're used to living? So again, the question of the morning, what do you believe is holding Bermuda tourism back, and how can we address it? I'm going to say, I have a lot of answers to this, but off the top of my head, I'm just going to say hotel product. We just don't have the hotel product at this time.
Okay.
She thought a lot on that, folks. Hold up, let me turn my mic down.
Took a few notes as you were speaking. Jamal, I think that we constantly sit in the middle of the road, right? We're not luxury. We're not doing all inclusives, and we're sitting here. We're not making a solid decision on which side we want to be on. We are far from luxury. For us to sit here and say in this day and age that we are a luxury destination, that's not it. And it's not solely on the BTA to create that, right? We need luxury experiences, and that comes from the people itself creating it's so many opportunities to create these experiences for tourists that are coming to Bermuda, whether we have the accommodations or flights or not. When you get here, what are we doing to keep people coming back? I also feel that we are not, it's not that I feel we aren't the people, the Bermudians of yesterday. So you remember we used to go to the hotel and you sit at the bar and you had this Bermudian bartender that would tell you all the history of Bermuda, and they were so hospitable. And we need to get back to hospitality and what hospitality looked like. Then again, that is not on the BTA. That's on us, the people. So yes, we do need hotel rooms. We do need airlift. But once you get here, what is the product that we have to sell that keep people coming back? Because a lot of the time when I see tourists walking down Front Street, it's like, well, what else is there to do? I don't know if you remember last year, I talked about my cousins that I was trying to get dinner on a Friday night at 9:30, 9:45. Why are we shutting down on a weekend that early in the night? So
Santa, that was me a couple weeks ago looking for somewhere to eat after sitting off at the bar with my Heineken Zero and my boys. I'm like, all right, I'm hungry. And they're like, ice cream. Like, what? That's like going to like McDonald's or somewhere late at night. I don't want to eat. I mean, I can't say that word. Ooh, boy, stop myself. But I can't eat that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that we need to start at the core of it and then work our way out, because you can have the smallest of destinations. Let's make it exclusive, right? Yes, we don't have a lot of flights coming here. We don't have a lot of hotel rooms, but if we create that like exclusive experience, then drives the price up, and we err on the side of luxury, right?
Yeah. I think you said so much, and every last bit of it, I concur. But something that stood out that you said that I don't think we take enough accountability for. Look, we live in an era where as much as we're on social media, as much as we engage, as much as we're living in the information age, the one thing that's missing from the society we live in is accountability. I think it almost people see it as shame to hold themselves accountable and the people they love accountable, right? And truthfully, we have changed as a people, and that's not always a bad thing. But someone said it the other day to me, and it may have been on this show, but someone said there was a time when Bermudians were at the front of the restaurant and the non-Bermudians were at the back. Well, you go to any restaurant today, or most restaurants, and you'll have the non-Bermudian at the front servicing and the Bermudian in the back. That has changed the experience, the Bermudian experience, because as Sancha just said, you used to be able to have a conversation with a Bermudian server, learn about the island. And folks, this is not chastising or disrespecting or degrading non-Bermudians. We don't do that on this show. We're not going to start today. It's just speaking about how the experience has changed and how do we address that. All right. So again, the question of the morning, and let us know, because this is your island. This is your home. This is, about the revenue and helping you live. What do you believe is holding Bermuda tourism back, and how can we address it? Sean DeShield says, price value is a major concern when comparing Bermuda with more attractive and affordable destinations. And I think that's why Bermudians rush to all-inclusives, because they feel, they're more affordable. But with a more affordable hotel option comes a different kind of guest as well.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I'm not that person that wants an affordable, I don't like all-inclusives.
Me neither.
I do not like. So if I go to Jamaica, I'm looking for like a little boutique hotel where I can have the experience of the person that owns it. And I don't like the food at all-inclusives. So with that being said, I do agree. We need a product, but I am not that person that says it has to be affordable. You're going to attract the person that can afford it. If you know that that's not for you, then you're not going to come to Bermuda because you can't afford it. But if we put the right experiences and value for money in place, whether that's expensive or not, our traveler knows that we are that high-end destination, and they will come if they can afford it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Sancha. Michelle White says, the profile of tourists have changed. I don't think we really identified who that tourist is. Heard on the news last night that a family chose cruising because vacation by air was too expensive. Maybe have a cruise and stay program to make it affordable for this demographic. Also, I don't understand why Elbow Beach is still closed. Well, let's address a few things in that, Sancha. I think you actually say that pretty often, like, who is our target market, right? She said, have we identified who we're after as a destination? Now, that's a question I would ask the Bermuda Tourism Authority. I would actually ask them, because I don't think it makes sense us here trying to guess, right? So we can actually put that question out to them, like, is there, because things may have changed. I mean, things may have changed. The targets, let's be honest, targets change, folks.
Exactly.
What we were targeting pre-pandemic may be different post-pandemic for various reasons. Again, we have a different product now. We don't have our largest hotel open. So to the second part about a cruise and stay program, that's going to involve a lot of moving pieces. That's going to mean cooperation of cruise ships who they're selfish, they want it all to themselves, and then hotels who they're selfish, they want it all to themselves. So this is not something that you're, again, using something Sancha says all the time. It's going to take a bunch of the right people in the room to facilitate and make something like that happen. And as far as Elbow Beach still closed, I mean, I worked in the Bermuda tourism space from 2012 to 2018, I think. And Elbow Beach was partially closed the entire time, I believe. That hotel needs a lot of work. It's just not up to standard. The truth is, the hotels need work. I mean, just because they're in this nostalgia or whatever, like, they need work. So my hope is that, some investor just has money to not lose, but they're not looking for an immediate return, will start investing in a place like Bermuda and can see something over time, maybe for their children or grandchildren. But that's the kind of stuff that Bermuda needs. Audience, what do you believe is holding Bermuda tourism back, and how can we address it? Charles H. Jeffers II says, I wonder if we are ready or can handle more tourists. We have serious transportation issues. We can barely accommodate the number of visitors we get as well as the local needs. Well, let's talk about that. I mean, we don't have, it seems like buses are breaking down all the time, right? I mean, that's a valid point. Do we have the infrastructure for more guests to Bermuda?
No.
And again, I think we look at it, and headlines like that make us believe hotel beds will equal more visitors. Okay, so we get the visitor. I think Sencha just said it. So we get them, but then they have this bad experience. Not only are they not going to come back, but they're going to tell, in the digital social media age, they're going to tell their friends and family and whoever else that post gets shared with about their bad experience in Bermuda. We couldn't have transportation. This happened, that happened. I mean, do we have the infrastructure?
This is why I feel like Bermuda should steer more in the luxury sort of lane. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I agree with you. Renee Simmons says, what happened to the luxury yachts that we were supposed to get here? Don't need hotels with luxury yachts. Also, the retail does not accommodate luxury either. Bermuda is simply going backwards. Well, I didn't read the actual report, the annual report, so I don't want to sit here and say that we aren't making inroads in the luxury yacht space, but maybe somebody has read the BTA report. Is there any movement in the luxury yacht space?
We do not have the product to encourage, even if we're here, right? We are in the perfect location for luxury yachts. We are that stop off. We are perfectly located for it. But once you get here, we are not a luxury destination. So we can keep building docks. We can say we are the perfect location. We can do all of that. But once you get here, the retail isn't luxury. The restaurants, we're not a luxury destination. So we're not going to attract that.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the harsh reality. I don't even think it's you being overly critical or bad. It's just the harsh reality. Charles H. Jeffers II says, in my opinion, we need hotels at varied prices. Also, I believe the entire island can be marketed as an all-inclusive destination. I concur. It can be an all-inclusive luxury destination if we find what's luxury. Rashida Godwin says, is focusing on hotels a thing of the past? Does the thinking need to shift or balance? Visitors enjoy staying at Airbnbs. Cruise ships to Bermuda have been practically sold out. But Rashida, as far as Airbnbs, so the Airbnbs are big. But the best way I can explain what I'm about to say is just bear with me, folks. So Barack Obama was running for president 2008, I believe, against John McCain, right? And you can even look at today, the people running for the Republican candidacy and Joe Biden, so on, running. But what Barack Obama did so well is what Rashida's speaking about, is he got a little from a lot of people. For tourism traditionally, and maybe times have changed, and luxury in Bermuda, group business drives tourism. That's our focus in other spaces. Group tourism drives tourism. So cruise ships do not really truly benefit the economy. They may help a small business here and there, but they're not going to benefit the country overall. So restaurants and meeting spaces and event space, it's just not feasible, right? So as far as Airbnbs, they cannot help with group business. That's just the reality of it. And one or two people here and there is just not going to help your economy, unfortunately. So what you do is when you get that group business, and this is how big destinations think, right? When you get that group business, you then turn those group clients into leisure travelers, because I'll use Maya and she can speak to it for herself when she comes on. But Maya's first trip to Las Vegas was for a conference. Las Vegas and Orlando are the homes of conferences. they don't really focus on leisure tourists. They know that the leisure tourists will come out of that group conference business. So Maya may say, I want to go back one day to experience another show or Cirque du Soleil or this or that. Airbnbs and cruise ships are not beneficial for the big economy. That's just the reality. And prove me wrong. It's in the numbers. It's in the numbers. That's why the mandate for the Bermuda Tourism Authority is to drive group business heads in beds. We don't mess with it out here. You say hotel, we don't mess with it. I mean, sorry, cruise, we don't mess with it. And South Florida has a lot of cruises. So just because a few small businesses benefit from it doesn't mean it's helpful for the economy. And I hope that came across respectful. Michael Daniels says, the more I travel, the less I'm convinced that Bermuda is ultra expensive in comparison. I don't think Bermuda is overly expensive personally. And I don't think Sancho's saying that. What I think people are saying is value for dollar.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think people are speaking to. I mean, I used to say it all the time when I would be working for the Bermuda Tourism Authority. People would say, oh, it's so expensive. I'm like, have you eaten in San Francisco or New York or any major city in the US? Now, the difference is, to Charles' point, they have various price ranges in a New York City, right? Like you can have $500 a night and you can have $100 a night. It depends on what you're looking for. Sancho may stay in the 500. Jamal may stay in the 100. I'm just saying. I'm
down in the hundreds.
None of us are staying down there. And to be respectful, what we mean the 100, it could be something just with bed bugs. I'm just being honest. That's New York City. Sean DeShield says, fixing Bermuda's tourism problems must start with privatization and removing those unqualified, overpaid people who are totally clueless and continue to get it wrong. Wonder who he could be talking about. More focus must be devoted to improving group business. Ops, I forgot our hotel room inventory is at an all-time low. Again, group business, unless you have group business, you're in trouble. That's the reality of it. And one final comment, because we haven't been in trouble with Maya in a while, but Charles H. Jefferson II says, we're not luxury, Sancha. We're priced as a luxury destination, but we are not luxury. We've gotten some super yachts and we'll probably get a lot more. Not sure if they will be full with passengers. And that goes back to Michael Daniels. Again, there are many other places more expensive, but people see value in the dollar that they're spending. Keep them coming, folks. Again, sorry, I just burped on there. Excuse me. Hey, man, look, it happens. I'm human. We're going to bring Maya in for the news break. We do have our special guest, Siobhan Hudson. We're going to be talking about social media's impact on young people's mental health. But let's keep this conversation going about how we can how we can address the imbalance in our tourism product. But it's time for Maya Palacio and then Siobhan Hudson after the news break.
Good morning. Good morning.
Maya, how are you?
Pretty good.
Gotta admit, I've been very good in getting you in on time over the last month. So please accept my sincerest apologies for Sancha going over time this morning.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I was like this in the back, but I don't think nobody saw me.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we've been good. We've been good. But before you jump in your news break, did you want to obviously, you may have friends that may be interested in, maybe coming to Bermuda or family overseas. Like what are you hearing in your space when it comes to like how we can address what's holding Bermuda back as a tourist destination?
You know what? I'll follow up on this conversation because I will have friends coming to Bermuda for the Cup Match holiday. It's been a while since I've had people come down to the island with me, or friends from university. Last time I did was during my university days, and I brought down 2 friends, and one was very much so well off, so she didn't care about any of the prices. She had her father's black card and it was just living life. But the other was just so shocked. She was like, I bought $50 thinking I could buy food at the grocery store to survive for like at least 3 to 4 days. I'm like, what is going on? So but experiences, again, what people are expecting, again, where everyone's money situation is. Like university students who have to pay for their own way shouldn't be coming here to Bermuda, but others who don't have to worry about that, sure.
$50 could get you grapes and water, but hey, there's luxury grapes, folks. what you got for us?
Don't even touch grapes if you have $50.
Yeah, for real, right? Or make sure they turn into the most expensive bottle of wine, something. But what you got for us in the news break, Maya?
Well, good morning, everyone. This is the Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Starting off early this morning, a recap from yesterday's news report. Detectives continued their inquiries into a reported large disturbance that occurred around 12:10 a.m. Saturday, the 15th of July, on Somerset Road in Sands Parish near Cambridge Road. Initial information indicated that 3 men, as reported yesterday, is now understood to be one, a 37-year-old man, a 34-year-old man, and a 19-year-old were injured, treated at the hospital, and later discharged. However, it has since been confirmed that only the 2 older men were discharged from the hospital, after medical care. At last check, the 19-year-old remained at the hospital recovering medical treatment for what is understood to be non-life-threatening injuries at this time. The witness appeal continues that investigators are still keen to speak with anyone who was in the Somerset Road, Cambridge Road, Sands Parish around, again, Saturday, the 15th of July at around 12:10 a.m. Those who have any information can contact Sergeant Odessa Phillip at 717-2193, or again, you could also call Anonymous Crime Stoppers hotline 800-8477.
I shouldn't say this, but I didn't realize it was that serious of a situation. I just thought it was a fight kind of thing. So yeah, it's bad. And I hate these news reports, but
yeah. Well, like I said, they said as well 10 people in that area, 3 of them at the hospital. Now we know the age gaps are quite significant here. So anyone who knows anything about it, and again, 10 people in that area, those 10 people are sure to have told somebody, please say something.
indeed.
Coming up next in the news break, the Governor of Bermuda London office is pleased to recognize Mr. Franco Harris and Ms. Jessica Sharp, who have recently completed their internship placement in London, both for successful applicants in the previous internship program and demonstrated a passion for public service and Bermuda's engagement in international affairs. Kimberly Durant, the director and UK representative, said, "We are extremely proud of both Jessica and Franco. Their ambition and focus to Bermuda's public sector shined as they represented Bermuda proudly in the engagement across Westminster and Brussels. They are truly the future of our country, and we are honored that they are part of the London office's internship program as part of their career journeys." Franco Harris is moving on to study a DPhil PhD at the University of Oxford in criminology, specializing in gang violence, and Jessica Sharp is going on to pursue her master's in public policy at the University of Edinburgh. And a reminder that the London office is currently seeking new interns paid for this paid internship that will be for the 2023-24 year. And again, applications deadline is August the 2nd at 7 p.m. So if any graduate or undergrad would like to apply and who is Bermudian should apply.
Mm. Yeah, get out there, apply. I think the experience, I'd love to speak to some of those interns. I don't know, Maya, if you'll be doing any interviews with them in the future for the news, but I'd like to know their experience, like working for Bermuda in an overseas office. What did they get from it? What advice would they give people going in, and how they believe it's going to benefit them, or how has it benefited them already going forward?
That's a good idea. I might reach out to them, see if they have any input for the ones who are applying right now. Next up, meanwhile, on July the 14th, Premier David Burt and the head of the public service, Dr. Derek Binns, recognizes the Ministry of Social Development and Seniors Aging and Disability Service team as the recipients of the June Public Service Excellence Award. The team comprises of Kiana Balbota, Sarah D'Alucio, Shayna Smith, Robin Kelly, Wakaya Brown, Alicia Martinez, and Jackie Bennett. Together, they are recognized for their commitment to providing a quality service to Bermuda's vulnerable populations, specifically seniors and persons with disability. The program included 3 presentations at the Seniors Program T, which had the seniors interact and ask questions at multiple booths to provide additional information and literature on the topics discussed. The ADS program manager conducted the first presentation, providing seniors with tips on preventing abuse and what to look out for. The second presentation, delivered by the Bermuda Police Service, discussed fraud prevention and how to spot a fraudulent message. The third and final presentation was conducted by a representative from a local law firm discussing the importance of enduring power of attorney.
I just want to give major props because we did have Sarah D'Alucio on from Aging and Disability Services in June. And I think that show shocked a lot of people because, one, people didn't know this existed. And then what we learned that they do and how the elderly and disabled are impacted in Bermuda. So happy they were recognized. Hate that it was a photo up for the guy in the middle.
A reminder though as well, I think this came from Winreach when they actually took had their annual Disabilities Day and awareness, that a really good tip, and I give this to my grandma all the time, and she does it all the time. Whenever you go to the hospital, whenever you go to the hospital, have your own books and own records of what was stated after each and every appointment, so that you have it for yourself as well. And you're not just relying on the hospital's like program and their folders as well, especially if you go to doctor. That's an important tip to have.
Pull out your phone and record, folks. Just record voice. You don't have to get people on camera, but record is the easiest and best way if you have space on your phone to document.
Yep, voice recorder all the way. Coming up next, the Family Center of Bermuda released their statement on the official death of their founder, Martha Dismont. They said Family Center is heartbroken over the passing of Martha Dismont, our founder and former executive director of the organization for 30 years. Martha's faith and passion were pivotal to her drive to build a nonprofit from the ground up, whose mission was to strengthen children and families in Bermuda without barriers. Family Center was established in 1990, growing under Martha's leadership from tutoring one child to impacting the emotional and social well-being of thousands of children, teens, and families across the island. Martha's vision transcended the impossible to what is possible, and she seldom took no for an answer. The world is a better place for having Martha Dismont in it. We find comfort in continuing her life's work every day through Family Center's commitment to ensuring families have access to support without barriers and working toward a healthy Bermuda where all families are valued, supported, and empowered to thrive.
And again, sincerest condolences to her family and the community, greater community, and the Family Center family over there for their loss.
Yes. And closing up my news this morning, the One Bermuda Alliance adopted candidates Glenn Tucker and Thomas Harvey. They are pleased to announce Glenn Tucker as its adopted candidate for Constituency 17, Pembroke Central. A little background, Glenn is first and foremost a husband and father of 2 daughters, ages 18 and 10, best known for his long career as an award-winning Bermudian photojournalist. Glenn's love for all things Bermuda has enabled him to travel all parts of the island, attending everything, everywhere, engaging with Bermudians from all walks of life. At his heart, Glenn is a people person. While Glenn remains an avid photographer, he has switched gears and is now a Bermuda manager of international financial management business. Armed with a passion for tourism, Glenn also employed at the Guado Bay Beach Resort and Spa. He says, if elected in Parliament, I will focus on enhancing our island's tourism industry, which is vital if we hope to improve Bermuda's economic future, he says. He says, I am proud to be the candidate of Constituency 17, and I am a resident there, and I want to do all I can to assist my community. As for Thomas Harvey, who was adopted as candidate for Constituency 2, St. George's West, he was born and bred in St. George's, and his family roots are embedded in the St. George's and St. David's community. He attended East End Primary and St. George's Secondary, where he learned his trade, carpentry. Thomas went on to complete an apprenticeship at the Public Works Department, and upon completion, worked for a construction company until he decided to branch out and onto his own. He subsequently launched Strike Force Carpentry. In addition to Strike Force Construction, excavating, and general trucking, he was the first to have a crane truck on the island. A well-respected businessman, Thomas was invited to lead the St. George's Parish Council, where he did for a number of years, bringing together a team of diverse personalities who has various passions of their own, but one common goal, the betterment of the St. George's community. Thomas is a leader and consensus builder, as demonstrated by his chairmanship of the St. George's Council Parish. He is a team player, always willing to step in where his abilities will let him.
I'm not impressed. My question is to the One Bermuda Alliance and the Bermuda Progressive Labor Party is, we'd like to see something in the Daily or the Gazette that tells us what qualifies someone to be a candidate. I'm just being frank. I'm not impressed. Maya could have kept reading for another day. I'm not impressed. And I'll say no more. I'll just say I'm not impressed, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who's not impressed. I'm just going to say it. I'm not impressed. Leave it at that.
I felt like that the accomplishments were filled with fluff.
Yeah. I'm saying this as a person. Mind you, they kicked me off the voting registry. I can't vote, but I'm just telling you. I'm saying it. If I'm not impressed, think of the people that are out there voting. I guess it comes down to, you know what, elections are not won, they're lost. I mean, you know, Nandi Bridge Davis, whatever her last name is, she kind of won by 4 votes because something went down. So maybe something may happen in the favor. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Well, what else you got for us?
Moving on to the weather, actually, but I do want to say a statement. There's very limited requirements as to who can actually run as a constituency person, just so everyone knows. You really don't need much. You literally, if I remember from what I had reported, you just need to either live in that constituency or have 2 people vouch for you from that constituency parish. And that's about it, truthfully.
For the OBA?
Well, no, just for in general, if you want to be like, if you want to run to become to be a candidate.
You don't even need. You can live in St. George's and run up in Somerset. All you need to do, as
It
far
has
as
2 people vouch for you from that parish, though, or that constituency. Sorry.
Well, no. Is it because from my experience, political party versus independent. I know both political parties operate differently, but I know that the one thing you need, that's for certain, is you need to be a legal resident of Bermuda.
Yes.
I thought that was the only thing. I could be wrong, but yeah, I'll take it for it.
I'll send it to you. I know I have a story on it that I did, but I'm 100% sure that you need 2 people from that constituency to still vouch for you and sign off for you to actually run in that constituency. You can't just do it without some other people in that constituency.
And there are people who sign off on something. Anyway, no, we're not doing that. Go ahead, Mike. You try.
Moving on, the weather.
The weather. Yes, moving on to weather. Today we're going to mix the sun and cloud, a few early and late showers, and some odd rumbles as well. So not looking like the best weather today, sorry. And we got a high of 86 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay. By the way, I'm not impressed with anybody the PLP puts forward either, especially if they're just going to be quiet and let Davy Boy do what he wants. That's the premier. What you got for days of the year, son?
Today is Nelson Mandela International Day.
Oh.
Recall the remarkable life of anti-apartheid leader Nelson Mandela and see what you can do to help make the world a better place for everyone. Nelson Mandela is an inspiration to all who knew him and a hero for the ages. Nelson Mandela Day recalls the life of Nelson Mandela and reminds us of the necessity for strong men and women to stand up against injustice.
I had no idea that was a thing. Well, you know what year this started? Nelson Mandela
I
Day?
could go and tell you.
But no, I'm only asking because I love that it's a thing. I'm not complaining, folks, at all. I'm just, I love that it's a thing, but awesome. No, good day. Thank you for that. Maya, thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow with my report on how to become a constituency MP.
Yes, I need to know this. They won't let me vote, but I still am Bermudian. I may just throw my hat in the ring. Yeah, right. No way.
I wish you would.
Part 2 to things I would push for. But anyway, no, not all that conservative stuff. I just will get some stuff done. But Maya, we'll see you tomorrow, folks. Don't go anywhere. We have our guest, Siobhan Hudsell, coming up. We're talking about the impact of social media on young people.
I love this. Yeah, love this conversation.
Bye. All right.
Bye.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's, I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's.
Celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dandytown Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
Welcome back to the big show, Sancha Durham. I'm Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House and Lindos, as well as People's Pharmacy. Don't forget, please subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com, and follow us on all of our social media channels. Help us stay up to date with keep up to date with all that we have going on, and help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Sancha, I laugh when we come back because of the things that, we communicate backstage and so on. And I have to remember, certain things you just can't say publicly, Jamal. You cannot say, you can say it in a voice note and let that go wrong. And then, what's going to start happening, people say that wasn't me, that was AI and whatnot. But yeah, that's all I'll have to do to get away with things. But anyway, welcome back. Let's bring our guest for today. We've got a very amazing young person. We love working with the people connected with Bermuda Youth Connect. And today we have Siobhan Hudsell on, and we're going to be talking about the impact of social media on young people's mental health. So let's give her a warm TDH welcome. All righty. Welcome. How are you?
I am fine, thank you. And yourself, Jamal?
Well, I'm okay. I'm being head myself today.
All right, that's good to hear.
Yeah, Sancha brings a little different side of me out, but I'm good. So tell us a bit about who you are and what you do, Miss Hudsell.
All right, so my name is Siobhan Hudsell. I am an aspiring mental health counselor with a passion for helping young people, adolescents, and young adults through difficult mental health challenges as well as difficult life transitions. I am a recent graduate of Johnson & Wales University with an undergrad degree in psychology, and I am currently trying to pursue my graduate degree in either psychology or counseling and psychotherapy. And my most recent work in the field has been in the family center offices, as well as assisting with their mental health campaigns on social media.
Well, everything's so connected. And I'm going to go backward here. You said family center, and you just spoke about Miss Martha Dismont, who passed, and because of her, you have that opportunity. But
Yes.
Siobhan Hudsell, I'm going to tell you something real quickly. So I saw your name in the list of graduates as I was at the Johnson & Wales graduation. And I was like, well, who's her people? You know how about Bermudians are. Who's her people? And I kind of try to Google you and so on. And I'm not going to say it on air, but people could do their own Googling. I was like, okay, I don't know her, but a Bermudian, because my baby sister graduated from Johnson & Wales this year as well. And I'm an alum. So I just wanted to put that out there, that congratulations, fellow alum. I had no idea that this was you. I feel like I'm in the house with a celeb. You are to me, but congratulations, and glad that we have that in common. And it's good to know your background and the information. So social media is what we're focusing on today. Just we think of social media. We're on this show. We're on social media platforms, various platforms. Speak to us about some of the pros and cons. And when I was doing my reading about you, you used a lot of sources, right? Which I like, obviously. Ken Johnson & Wales, you know how to use your sources, folks.
Yep.
What are some of the pros and cons of social media for young people in particular?
So we'll definitely start with all the pros first. I would say a definite first one is communication and the ability to make friends. Social media has created sort of just the initial and innate ability for people to communicate with anyone around the world. Before, it was just saying hi to your neighbor that was across the street from you. And now you can say hi to someone in India, a completely different nation across the water from us. And it allows us to just create new experiences with new people from all over the world. And that in itself is amazing. Another pro that we can say is education. Since the internet in general, we have been able to gather a wave of information from across the world, and also the ability for other people outside of, specific experts in their field are also able to give a lot of educational information to anybody that is, on the internet, can easily access it and is able to just find it, take whatever they need from it, and go on with their day, having learned some new information. Another option for a pro of social media is that it allows the truth to be voiced for those that may not have the platform to do it in a way that you are doing it right now online in a live space through this wonderful medium. And social media has just given a voice to the voiceless in so many different ways that we can't even imagine when you think about it. When I think of cons of social media, I guess the biggest one would definitely be stress. Trying to keep up with everything that you see and trying to maintain a specific, I don't want to say facade, but for some people it might be just trying to maintain a specific reputation on social media is somewhat stressful. I know myself, I definitely get anxious about posting on Instagram, even if it's just a hi, I'm here, I'm alive. And that can be sort of nerve-wracking to people. I would also say another con is the potential for cyberbullying. I know that young people, there are a million and one different individuals on the internet, and it is a major opportunity to receive potential backlash from whatever you might post. And that is something to be very aware of.
Tell me about it.
Yes.
But I would just want to go back to the first con you mentioned, facade and so on. And I've said this on the show before. I had someone who said that their daughter, young lady, said that her and her friends, if they didn't get a certain amount of likes, they would delete the post. I believe, I picked on Instagram. I think Instagram is extremely valuable for business, but I think young people in particular, I don't like the app for young people. I think social media is not real life.
I agree.
Social media is what we want people to believe, right?
Yep.
Unless you got a show like this where it's an actual platform where we're having conversations. But for the most part, none of us are gonna wake up and take a picture of us laying in our bed with,
I woke up like this, flawless.
Like we're not going to do that. That's just not. It's not real life. We're going to make sure we have our best self on. Unless your best self is as raggedy as me, you just don't care. Then I just think there's differences. But I'm happy you said that. Audience, if you have any questions or comments for Siobhan, please send them through. Good, I'm sorry.
So, what's the science behind social media's impact on young people?
I would definitely say that the science behind social media's impact for young people comes from the social comparison theory. This theory was popularized in 1954 by Leon Festinger. And this theory primarily just suggests that we as humans have the innate drive to want to sort of compare ourselves and get a very accurate evaluation of the self and who we are. And in trying to achieve this, we end up comparing ourselves with other people, sort of just trying to find any uncertainties in our identity that do not align with everyone else's identity, and how we can actually sort of change ourselves to meet those expectations.
Interesting.
So, what age would you say is a good age, or the right age for kids to have social media or to get social media?
Oh, that's a tough question. I feel like the age, I don't know. Because the common age for a lot of social media platforms currently is around 13 to 14 years old, correct? So I feel like at that point, you are just learning your identity and who you are. So having access to social media, like we said, is sort of a pro because it allows you to sort of explore the world and sort of learn who you are as a person a lot easier than you would if you didn't have those other influences. But also those other influences can be a major detriment. So I would say that the age that we do have is sort of a good one, but it also depends on just how it's used at the end of the day.
Got it. What are some of the healthy habits that young people can practice to protect themselves from the bad in social media?
Some healthy habits that young people can use to protect themselves from the bad in social media. One major one is to take note of the feed that they are viewing and how the feed makes them feel. I know myself personally, a few years ago, I used to wake up and just automatically go on my phone and check Twitter. And I found that throughout the rest of the day, I found myself in somewhat of a bad mood because there's a lot of weird stuff on Twitter. And if you didn't know, Twitter is actually considered one of those platforms that the content, if it doesn't generate moral outrage, it almost doesn't get shared enough. So one of the major things about Twitter is that like people will, share content that upsets people and therefore everyone's upset, right?
Mhm.
So I think taking, note of what actually is on your feed and how it makes you feel and deciding, okay, this makes me feel upset first thing in the morning. I'm not about to spend the rest of my day feeling this way. So I actually actively just stopped using Twitter just completely. And my day has been a lot better. So
I think we're opposites. I think no, I got on Twitter for sports, really, to keep up with sports and so on. What I did stop doing is I stopped watching this Manchester United YouTuber mornings. That was what I would do on my jogs mornings and so on. And I just realized this guy frustrates me because every morning he was complaining about Manchester United or making the wrong, like saying the club's going to do this and it wouldn't. And so I realized it was stress. Honestly, it was really stressing me. And then I had to get on and do this show. So I'm just like, no. And I think I've been so much better since I tuned him out. As far as Twitter, I see all football news on my feed. I don't know why it's been like that, but it's mainly that. And then I see funny stuff. Like ever since Mr. Musk took over, it's like this funny, like crazy stuff that comes on my stuff and stuff that I laugh. So for me, I then share that stuff with people who on their phones can look at Twitter. So but I agree with you. It's like what's in your feed, you have to be very, very careful of. Just let direct us because we talk about social media all the time and its impact and what we need to do. As I stated earlier, you had a lot of sources that you use for your writings and so on. What are some websites or articles that you can direct people toward for social media's best practices?
all right, so I was nicely prepared for this question. I believe that I have like the holy grail of tips for mental health. It's almost like a one-stop shop. So there is actually a documentary that has been produced. The documentary is called Childhood 2.0, and it literally just discusses the dangers of social media for young people. And the team behind the film actually also created a handbook for raising kids in the digital age. The handbook itself specifically discusses literally everything that's in the documentary, but it also touches on social media related topics, including cyberbullying, sexual content, sexploitation, violence in social media, as well as suggested solutions that young people and parents can use to just assist them in how to use social media, either actively or passively.
Mhm. And Siobhan, how can people get in touch with you if they want to have a conversation, learn more, or even work with you in some respect in this space?
You can feel free to email me at siobhan.zh@gmail.com.
All right. It's been awesome. Thank you so much for this conversation. You can check some of her readings out. Just Google her name, folks. And love having conversations with the folks from Bermuda Youth Connect. Feel free to reach out to us if we can be of any assistance going forward. And again, congratulations on your graduation a couple months ago. All right, Siobhan Hudson, folks, if you appreciate the conversation, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Rashida Godwin says, this is great, and I hope she creates a podcast. Yeah, she definitely has the information, she has the insight and know-how, and so hopefully she can share that gift with others. But congratulations again. If you appreciate the conversation, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Folks, do not go anywhere. We're going to take our final break, come back with the daily play. It is Cop Match. Don't forget to get your Cop Match trivia cards from various stores throughout the island. But Sancha, I hope you're ready for this one.
I'm never ready for the cup match trivia.
Oh, she's never ready. Well, folks.
Not. Help me out, audience.
Help her out, folks. 20 seconds.
Ordering from ER Fisheries has just gotten simpler. With just a few clicks of a button, you can place an order for next day delivery or same day pickup. Our ever-expanding list of offerings now include grocery pantry items, specialty meats, and bread and dairy items. We know things have been hard, and we're here to make planning for your next meal or party easy. Whether you're a vegetarian or a meat eater, we have what you're looking for. And best of all, it can be delivered to your door in 24 hours or less. Go to www.erfisheries.bm and check out our wide range of seafood, beef, lamb, pork, poultry, fruits, vegetables, and plant-based products, all available at reasonable prices. That's www.erfisheries.bm.
Welcome back to the big show. Thanks again to Siobhan Hudsell for that conversation, and the folks at Bermuda Youth Connect. Awesome group of people keeping young people involved in important conversations. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical House, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Got some comments. Traveling Trotty says, Bermuda Youth Connect, you're doing a fantastic job. Thank you. Karen Simmons says, thank you for the conversation. I will watch Childhood 2.0 with the discussion questions. And Rashida's using profanity on the show this morning, talking about summer.
Well, listen, during our break just now, my son Maddox came out here because he heard you talking about cup match. He was like, can you just tell everybody that Maddox said that Somerset's going to win and St. George's loses because they always pick the same people over and over. Words of a 7-year-old.
You know, and this question, I thought of Maddox for this question as well. So here we go. Time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia. Now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Cup Match Edition in stores. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Sandra, are you ready?
Let's have it.
All right, here we go, folks. It's Cup Match Trivia. What year did St. George's Cricket Club last win Cup Match?
I don't know. I want to say, has it been 20?
It's 2011, Rashida Godwin. It was 2011. And the reason I thought of Maddox, I was like thinking of Maddox last night when I was trying to think of the question. I'm like, a child at 7 years old, which is what Maddox is, has only ever known Somerset.
That's what he says that's what he says all the time.
Legit. He, like, folks, St. George's? Look, St. George's, I'm talking to you, right?
Here we go.
Talking to you. There are children who were not thought of that can walk, talk, play sports. Some of them even entrepreneurs at this point. They only know Somerset as winners of Cup Match. Can we please do something about that this year, St. George's? I did see some news that Somerset's one of the best opening batsmen they've ever had, Chris Douglas, will not be participating this year. But we got to do better, St. George's. Please, please. I mean, I don't want to make Maddox cry, but if it's for a victory, I'll take it. All right. I'm done pleading. All right.
I hope that works for you, Jamal.
Yeah, I really do. So let's wrap it up. We had the conversation about tourism. Then we had our guest, Siobhan Hudsell. Final thoughts. What are you thinking?
As I said, we need to pick a side when it comes to tourism. I think that if we dedicate ourselves to either or, I feel as if we will be successful. But this space that we're in the middle, like, we want to promote ourselves as luxury, but don't have the actual product to support it. Or, we have tons of cruise ship people coming here. Cruise ships are full, but then when they get here, they're feeling like it's ultra expensive. We need to figure out who we are, what we are, and grow that. And then once again, I put it back on the people. We need to think about when these people are coming to Bermuda, how do we want to sell ourselves? Who do we want to be? And think about our grandparents that were able to have buy houses based on hospitality, right? That's really big. Our conversation this morning with Siobhan, it's important to me because my son picks up his iPad in a minute, and if I let him, we'll be on that thing for hours. And I constantly have to be like, let's put it down. What are you watching? And I have to make sure that I'm filtering this. And I do believe that it can easily, you lose control of what you are exposing your kids to. Like I said before in the show, like TikTok, absolutely not. Some of the things that were popping up, I was just like, oh my goodness. But I do understand that, 13 is the age in which they should be using this app, right? So we have to be careful with that and what it does to kids and long term mentally, where it puts them and how they view themselves and how they feel that as if the world views them. I'm happy we had that conversation, and I would love to, go dive deeper into it and we can go further with it. So thank you for that today, Siobhan.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to say, I think when it comes to tourism, we have a long way to go. I think Charles H. Jefferson II said it when he was first appointed as the CEO and came on his show is, with Bermuda, everyone's rowing in different directions, though we're on the same boat. And, when that happens, we go nowhere, right? Just look at some of the responses. No, there's nothing wrong with having different ideas, no matter how far away they are from each other. But it's what we do with those ideas. How do we get to a common place that's going to move us forward? How do we get to that space where we're all rowing in the same direction? I think we're actually far off from solving our problems than we are to solving them. But I think with more conversations, and we can develop strategies and actions to actually put Bermuda in a better space as far as our tourism industry goes. Some things, and that's just a reminder to say, Sancha, that some things are within our control. Some things are within our control. As far as the social media and Siobhan Hudsell, again, I've had my say on social media a lot. I believe social media is a tool that we can use to become better human beings. Unfortunately, most of us don't, right? I see more positives and pros in social media because I want to see the positives and pros in social media. But as a community, we have to take accountability and be more responsible, not only when using it, but when we have young people around us and in our lives who are using it. We have to hold them accountable and ensure that they're using it in a way that can help them grow and become better people. So thank you for the conversation too, Siobhan. Sancha, do you have any daily inspiration for us?
I do. Our daily inspiration is brought to you by ER Fisheries. And it's what counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead. You know who that is. No. What is today?
Oh, Nelson Mandela. Yes.
Thank you.
Nelson Mandela Day, folks. I like that. I mean, she is testing to see if I was listening to her earlier, folks. I love that one. It's about the difference you make, folks. Hey, make a positive difference in somebody's life today in honor of Nelson Mandela. I just want to go back to some comment real fast. And Laverne Talker, she just says there is a workshop on adolescence and social media at Police Recreation Club at 6:30 tonight. So didn't know about that, but that is happening. If you know someone or if you want to participate, check it out. All right, folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Central Durham. I'm Jamel Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.